Residents of Shagamu came out in big numbers to participate in the Remo federal constituency by-election. Men, women and youths were seen at various polling units determined to exercise their civil responsibility despite early morning drizzles and tight security presence around major areas. Electoral officers arrived on time while voters queued patiently, eager to cast their ballots. Bumi Adigun was there and he reports. In Ikenne and Remo North local government, it was the same turnout as people of the areas came out to vote in the House of Representatives by-election. In most of the polling units, there were early arrivals of materials as well as officials of the electoral umpire. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
8 months after the position became vacant as a result of the demise of their representative and deputy chief whip of the House of Representatives, Honorable Adeomi Ononuga, the people of Ikenne and Remo North went to the poll again to elect a new representative in a by-election. The exercise commenced very early in the morning with early arrival of both materials and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, as shown in these polling units at Wesley Primary School, Ogiri.
The election went smoothly as officials of INEC arrived early with the materials.
The conduct of the exercise were smooth and hitch-free in most of the polling units in Ishaya Remo, where one of the election observers, who also monitored other polling units, assessed the conduct.
I think the exercise started very early. As you can see, the turnout is impressive.
We also caught up with the chairman of Ikenne and Remo North local governments while casting their votes.
The election has been so free and fair. There's no disruption, no distraction, no interruption. Everything went on smoothly. Voters are not being disenfranchised. Voters are not being disturbed.
This is what happened that led to this election. No have God. In my own word, was a very, very impressive one. Because my people came out massively to vote.
Everything went on fine. No fights, nothing. Everything was successful.
The election was also monitored in Ikenne town, where it was adjudged hitch-free.
I want to thank the people of Ikenne local government. They've come out, all the security people. If you go around, you see everything is very peaceful. The cooperation of the police, the army, DSS, Navy, everybody. You can't go anywhere within this town and see any violence.
We are happy with the way the election was conducted.
Votings were concluded before 2 p.m. in most of the polling units, followed by sorting and counting of votes. There was high presence of security agents around the polling units and major roads leading to the communities. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
Elsewhere, residents of Shagam came out in big numbers to participate in the Remo federal constituency by-election. Men, women and youths were seen at various polling units determined to exercise their civil responsibility despite early morning drizzles and tight security presence around major areas. Electoral officers arrived on time while voters queued patiently, eager to cast their ballots. Bumi Adigun has the details.
Shagamu residents turned out in large numbers to cast their ballots. The atmosphere across different wards was calm as security operatives maintained order while electoral officers ensured materials were distributed on time. Men, women and youths could be seen waiting patiently in queues, determined to make their voices count. Speaking to newsmen after casting her vote, the APC candidate commended the Independent National Electoral Commission for what he described as a well-organized process.
The process is peaceful, organized, I want to thank all the security agencies. I want to thank INEC, the presiding officers, and most importantly, the voters who have turned out. As you can see, they turned out in massive numbers to exercise their civic duty. So I want to thank them for coming out to do that and to coming out this early.
She expressed confidence in securing victory, stressing that her campaign had been centered on youth empowerment, infrastructure, and better representation for the constituency. According to her, the large voter turnout was a sign of growing democratic awareness among the people.
I'm not only hopeful, I'm confident. We won this election massively in 2023 by a decisive mandate, and before our representative was taken away from us, she did a tremendous job. And our campaign message has always been continuity. So the people of Remo, they know a good thing. They know that we are the only party that can continue the good work that Ijaya did. So I'm very, very confident that we will not only win, but we will win convincingly.
Several voters also shared their thoughts, describing the election as peaceful and transparent.
I have noticed a peaceful conduct in the election. There hasn't been any trouble. People have come in and vote according to their conscience. Nobody has intimidated anybody, and nobody has done anything that is illegal here.
You can see the turnout, peaceful. You can trust Mr. Abiodun. He's always on point, you understand. So he has assured his citizens of Ogun State to come out and vote, and everybody is here to vote peacefully. We are all one family. We are enjoying ourselves here, performing our civic rights, and we are sure that APC will carry the day.
The place is very peaceful and free election. I think that when you come here, you see a lot of people. There are no fighting, no nothing. The election is going peacefully.
A middle-aged trader said she was impressed with the speed of accreditation and voting, while another voter noted that the exercise gave him a sense of responsibility and belonging. Both urged politicians to prioritize the welfare of the people after the polls.
Meanwhile, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has expressed satisfaction of the conduct of the ongoing Remo Federal Constituency by-election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, just as he lauded the people of the constituency for the large turnout. Speaking after exercising his voting rights at Ward 03, Unit 002, Itao Sonyi, Ikperu Remo in Ikene local government at exactly 10:30 a.m. Governor Abiodun described the election as peaceful, adding that information at his disposal revealed that there was no iota of disturbance in any of the polling units in the three local governments, Shagamu, Ikene, and Remo North. The governor, who attributed the peaceful exercise to adequate preparation by the INEC, said the early arrival of electoral voting materials contributed to this smooth exercise.
I must say that I'm quite impressed with the feedback I've gotten so far this morning, that electoral materials arrived at the various polling units on time, and I'm pleasantly surprised that there's also a very impressive turnout. Everybody seems to be going about voting orderly, peacefully.
Governor Abiodun noted delay in capturing of voters by bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) due to bad weather, expressed optimism that the challenges will not disturb the voters from exercising their franchise.
There are issues here and there where they say maybe because of the weather, the BVAS machine takes a bit of time in capturing facial recognition images and registering it. But I believe between thumb printing and facial recognition, somehow they are managing along. So far, everything looks so good. And I want to thank INEC for being on top of their game as usual. Obviously, year in, year out, they are improving on the quality of the services they are rendering.
As at the time of filing the report, it was observed that there was a large turnout of voters at different polling booths across the federal constituency. Men of the Ogun State Command of the Nigerian Police has arrested 2 members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and 2 staffs of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Ikperu, Remo, with huge sums of cash allegedly meant for rigging the by-election into the Remo Federal Constituency House of Representatives. The suspects who were arrested in the early hours of the day were reported to have provided very useful information to the police regarding their respective roles in the alleged plan to bribe election officials and rig the by-elections. The suspects are 4 males and a female, according to a video by the police. The INEC staff, a man who identified himself simply as Constance and a woman who identified herself as Amina, claimed that they were sent by their supervisor to collect the money from a certain PDP politician in the area. Meanwhile, the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Lanre Ogunlowo, has confirmed the arrest of 2 officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and their driver for alleged electoral offences during the federal constituency by-election in Ikperu, Remo, Ogun State. CP Ogunlowo made the confirmation while fielding questions from correspondent Bumi Adigun, who covered the Remo federal constituency by-election in Shagamu. He described the process as free and fair, though not without a few skirmishes, which he noted are not unusual in election.
Typically, is to just make sure the exercise was conducted each free, which we succeeded at. Now we are at the collation center. From here we will be going to Ishara, and from Ishara to Ikere to just make sure the process gets to the completion without each. So that's basically what we do. We have some skirmishes, but they are just normal things you see during election, but there is no obvious issue that give us concern as far as security is concerned. So I can tell you that clearly. Yes, some arrests were made, and I have directed that this CID Atali will not take over the investigation of the case, which he has done, and the suspects are currently at Elewero. We will keep the public abreast as we investigate, certainly.
Collation of results from the Shagamu axis of the constituency is gathering momentum as election officers continue to arrive with result sheets. INEC officials were seen at the collation center with results duly signed by party agents who took part in the process. Security personnel were on the ground to safeguard both officials and materials, while the atmosphere at the venue remained calm, with political party representatives, observers and journalists closely monitoring proceedings. The half-brother of the People's Democratic Party candidate has told the people of Remo not to take his brother's claim about the conduct and credibility of the by-election seriously, insisting that people of Remo have clearly rejected him at the polls. Oyeleke Oluwole, while fielding questions from journalists, described the exercise as the freest and fairest in the history of Remo elections.
Oh, absolutely. So the candidate of the PDP happens to be one of my half-brothers with the same father and different mothers. Absolutely. I think, politics shouldn't be a one-way traffic. I think having the right to exercise and follow your political views freely, I think it's a fundamental right that any citizen has. So I've always been a progressive all my life. I've said it in previous interviews as well, and that's just how it has been. I was shocked to see that, But again, this is a candidate that has been contesting since 2007 for various positions. Has contested for this position many times as well. So I don't expect less. This was a totally free and fair election. Elections that, in the polling booth, people arrived throughout the wards. People arrived on time. The turnout was massive. And they voted without any scuffle. We didn't have any issue. We didn't even have to call the police officers or anyone to come around, even though they were around just to, provide security for the voters.
He commended the peaceful atmosphere provided by the Ogun State Governor Prince Dr. Abiodun and reaffirmed that the people of Remo had once again rejected the PDP and its allies through the ballot.